Assassin's Creed has no shortage of iconic protagonists. But who was actually the best assassin? To find out, I'm ranking the 10 greatest Assassin's Creed protagonists based on their skill, legacy, and dedication to the Creed. And before we begin, I should probably warn you, there will be spoilers for every major game in the series. Number 10. Edward Kenway. This one was hard. Edward is probably my favorite character in the entire Assassin's Creed franchise. And Black Flag is definitely my favorite game in the series. Edward is a great pirate, charming, charismatic, but also selfish and greedy. For most of the story, he doesn't care about any creed other than filling his pockets. Deep down, he has a moral code, but not enough to stop him from making disastrous decisions. By impersonating a Templar and chasing his own ambitions, he upset many of the game's events into motion and causes countless problems along the way. Many people end up paying the price for Edward's mistakes before he finally changes, and that's exactly what makes him such a compelling character. Black Flag is the story of a lost pirate who believes the world owes him everything, slowly transforming into an assassin who wants to give something back to the world. By the end of the game, Edward fully embraces the Creed, but compared to the protagonists ranked above him, he simply spends too much of his journey acting against its ideals. That's why Edward Kenway lands at number 10. Number 9. Jacob Frye. Jacob is one of the two protagonists of what I still consider one of the most underrated games, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. As an assassin, Jacob is incredibly capable. He possesses all the skills and training needed to take down his targets, but unlike most assassins, subtlety is rarely his first option. When he arrives in London, he forms a gang named the Rooks and wages an open war against Templar influence across the city. And while this tactic is effective, it's a far cry from the traditional assassin approach of operating from the shadows. Jacob often prefers direct action, relying on his combat skills and bold personality to solve problems. That said, he grows significantly throughout his life. In his later years, he helps rebuild the British Brotherhood, eventually becoming its mentor and proving his dedication to the Creed. His leadership and contributions leave a lasting legacy that cannot be ignored. However, Jacob's impulsive nature and preference of combat over stealth prevents him from climbing any higher, and that's why he lands at number 9. Number 8. Basim. Basim is a strange case. In Assassin's Creed Mirage, he is everything you would want from a traditional assassin. Stealth is his primary weapon. He eliminates his targets with precision, and unlike many modern protagonists, he avoids leaving a trail of destruction behind him. Throughout the game, Basim proves himself to be a highly capable hidden one. He takes a young high thumb under his wing and demonstrates many of the qualities expected from a master assassin. If this ranking were based purely on skill, he would probably be much higher. However, Basim's story doesn't end in Mirage. In Valhalla, it becomes clear that his goal extends far beyond the Creed. As the memories of Loki resurface, his priorities begin to shift toward a much more personal mission. While his skills remain unquestionable, his actions suggest that his own agenda eventually becomes more important than the ideals he once served. That doesn't erase his achievements, but dedication to the Creed is one of the most important criteria in this ranking. And because of that, Basim can reach only number 8. Number 7. Naoe is one of the most stealth-focused protagonists Assassin's Creed has ever had. As a shinobi, she relies on precision, patience, and remaining unseen rather than brute force. In my opinion, she embodies the classic assassin fantasy better than most modern protagonists. Throughout Shadows, Naoe proves herself to be highly capable, using information, infiltration, and carefully planning to accomplish her goals. Unlike characters such as Jacob or Edward, she rarely seeks direct confrontation and instead stays true to the methods that made the Brotherhood so effective in the first place. The reason she isn't ranked any higher comes down to experience and legacy. While Naoe is a skilled assassin, she simply hasn't left the same mark on the Brotherhood or the world as the characters above her on this list. For her incredible stealth abilities and commitment to the assassin way of doing things, Naoe earns the number 7 spot. Number 6. Arno Dorian. Arno is one of the most skilled assassins. He possesses all the qualities you would expect from a master assassin: stealth, precision, and determination. What makes Arno interesting is that he is more open to cooperation with certain Templars than most assassins. Through his relationship with Elise, he comes to believe that endless conflict between the two orders may not always be the only path forward. However, his greatest strength is also tied to his greatest weakness: Throughout much of Unity, his loyalty to Elise often takes priority over his loyalty to the Creed. Time and time again, personal desires influence his decisions, and after her death, he struggles to find purpose, appearing lost and directionless for a period of time. Despite those flaws, Arno ultimately proved himself when it matters most, stopping Germain and preventing a powerful piece of Eden from falling into the wrong hands. His skills, accomplishments, and commitment to protecting others earned him the number 6 spot on this list. Number 5. Connor Kenway. Connor is the protagonist of Assassin's Creed 3. Trained from a young age by Achilles, one of the last great assassins of the colonial Brotherhood, he grew into one of the most formidable warriors the Order has ever produced. The best way to describe him is a wrecking ball. While he is perfectly capable of using stealth, Connor often relies on sheer determination and overwhelming force to accomplish his goals. What Connor lacks in subtlety, he more than makes up for with his dedication to the Creed. His loyalty never wavers, not even when faced with his own father. Time and time again, he chooses the Brotherhood and its ideals over personal relationships. His legacy is equally impressive. After the colonial Brotherhood has been nearly destroyed, Connor rebuilt it from the ground up, ensuring the assassins would survive in the new world. Between his skills, unwavering commitment to the Creed, and the legacy he left behind, Connor earns the number 5 spot on this list. Number 4. Evie Frye. Evie is the second protagonist of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and the complete opposite of her brother Jacob. Where Jacob is impulsive and reckless, Evie is calm, intelligent, and always focused on the bigger picture. From a young age, her dedication to the Creed was undeniable. While Jacob often got distracted by gang wars and personal ambitions, Evie remained committed to the true mission of the assassins. Upon arriving in London, she immediately focused on recovering the Shroud, understanding the threat it posed if left in the wrong hands. What sets Evie apart, though, are her stealth abilities. The shadows are where she thrives. Few protagonists in the franchise embrace the traditional assassin approach as naturally as she does. She is patient, methodical, and always prefers precision over unnecessary conflict. That doesn't mean she lacks combat skills. Years after the events of Syndicate, Evie returned to London to confront Jack the Ripper and save both her brother and the British Brotherhood from the chaos he had unleashed. Between her dedication to the Creed, her exceptional stealth abilities, and her role in helping rebuild the British Brotherhood, Evie earns the number 4 spot on this list. In my opinion, she remains one of the most underrated assassins in the entire franchise. Number 3. Bayek of Siwa. Before he was a hidden one, Bayek was a Magi, a protector of the people. His life changed forever when the Order of the Ancients became responsible for the death of his son, setting him on a path of revenge that would ultimately shape the future of the world. As Bayek hunted those responsible, he gradually came to understand that the real problem was larger than any single ruler, pharaoh, emperor, or Caesar. That realization led him and his wife Aya to create the Hidden Ones, an organization dedicated to protecting the innocent and fighting those who sought power at any cost. In doing so, Bayek laid the foundation for the Brotherhood that would eventually become the Assassins. Bayek is an exceptional warrior and a capable assassin in his own right, but what truly sets him apart is his legacy. Every assassin who came after him owes something to the ideals he helped establish. Without Bayek, there is no Brotherhood, and there is no Assassins. And for that reason, he earned the number 3 spot on this list. Number 2. Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Back at number 10, I said Edward Kenway was probably my favorite character in the franchise. The probably part was because of Ezio. He is the most beloved protagonist in Assassin's Creed history, and for many players, he was their introduction to the series. Unlike almost every other protagonist on the list, we get to witness nearly his entire life in 3 games: Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations. In Assassin's Creed 2, Ezio begins as a young man driven by revenge. His anger and emotions often cloud his judgment, but over time he learns to rise above them and embrace a greater purpose. By the time we reach Brotherhood, he has become the ideal assassin, a master of the Creed, an exceptional leader, and a mentor capable of rebuilding and strengthening the Brotherhood. In Revelations, we see an older and wiser Ezio. Though no longer in his prime, he continues his search for knowledge, following the path of Altaïr in an effort to better understand the Brotherhood and its future. His skills are legendary, his dedication is unquestionable, and his legacy is one of the greatest in the history of the Brotherhood. And that's why Ezio earns the number 2 spot on this list. Number 1. Altaïr Ibn-La'Ahad. If we're talking about what it truly means to be an assassin, then there is no better choice than the original assassin himself, Altaïr. The youngest master assassin of the Levantine Brotherhood, Altaïr began his story as arrogant, reckless, and overconfident. His failures cost the Brotherhood dearly, and he was stripped of his rank as punishment. But through his quest for redemption, he not only regained his status, he exposed the corruption at the heart of the Brotherhood and defeated its treacherous leader, Al-Mualim. From that moment on, Altaïr dedicated his life to improving the order. As mentor, he reformed the Brotherhood, spread its influence across the world, and helped shape many of the principles that future assassins would follow for centuries. Unlike everyone else, Altaïr doesn't actually have a health bar. What you're seeing is synchronization, which implies that in the canon story, he was never truly struck in combat. He is the embodiment of the traditional assassin. Patience, stealth, precision, and discipline were at the core of everything he did. He wasn't just a great assassin, he became the standard by which all others would be judged. Altaïr didn't just serve the Brotherhood, he reinvented it. The assassins who came after him inherited an order shaped by his wisdom, his reforms, and his vision for the future. And that's why Altaïr is the greatest Assassin's Creed protagonist and the number 1 assassin on this list. These were my rankings for the best assassin protagonists in Assassin's Creed. I'm sure a lot of you disagree with at least a few of these placements, so feel free to tell me why I'm wrong in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, enjoy the grind.